Hey guys, welcome back to Kaiju Lab. My name is Michael, and today we're gonna bring this big fish monster to life with some fresh paint. If you haven't seen part 5 yet, go check it out. That's where I did all the sculpting work for this Scylla figure. It started at simple old toy, and we turned it into this huge and detailed kaiju. I'll put the link up here or down in the descriptions below. Make sure you watch that first. Alright, let's go to the lab. So for this project, I want Scylla to look close to how it does on screen. That fishy deep sea vibe. We'll do the primer, then the base color, add shadow and highlight, then small details to make it look alive. First step, primer coat. This helps the paint stick and give us an even base to work with. I'm spraying a thin layer all over the whole figure. Make sure it covers all the sculpted part. But there's one important exception. I didn't apply any primer inside the mouth because that area moves a lot when the mouth opens and closes. I wanted to avoid paint chipping or peeling due to friction, so I left it in its original Sofubi color to keep it durable and clean. Next, base color. For Scylla's main body, I'm using a deep bluish gray, kinda like the original suit. Now for the secondary colors, I'm mixing in a lighter blue and a bit of green to highlight the belly area. This makes it look more like a real sea creature. I'm brushing it layer by layer. You can see how it brings out the details. See, the shape's looking cleaner and more solid. Okay, now let's move on to the fish scale parts. First, I'm laying down a nice beige base color all over these scales. This gives us a good starting point. When that's dry, I'm adding a slightly darker shade here and there. This helps create a simple 3D look so it doesn't look flat. I like doing this step because it really makes the details stand out. Then, I'm taking an even darker color and brushing it into a deeper corners. This adds more depth and make it look more realistic, like real fish skin with shadows and tiny bumps. But we're not done yet. I mix up some dark brown paint with a lot of water, kind of like a wash paint. Then, I brush it gently all over the scales. These thin colors slip into every tiny line and texture, giving it that natural raw fish look. When that's dry, I go back again with the pale white, just to pick out the raised parts and make them pop even more. Alright, now let's add a gradient red on some part like the fin and the tail. These little dots make it look more natural, like how real fish have color change on their fins. After that, I grab a pale white and dry brush it on top as the secondary color. This highlight step bring back the shine and show off all the texture we just made. Next up, I'm painting the fin tip with white. Just like before, I'm mixing two shades here, one base color and one highlight, to get that smooth gradient look. It really makes the fin stand out and look fresh. After we've got the soft reds in, I go in with the main red color to boost it up. This layer makes the whole thing pop and give it that classic Scylla look. Next, let's work on the inside of the mouth. This part is always fun because it makes the figure looks more alive. I'm adding a dark red base first to give it depth. Then I'll brush it lighter red and bit of pink around the gums. This helps it look flashy and more realistic. And I'm using purplish red for the tongue area. I'll also touch up the teeth just to make sure they pop against the mouth color. Alright, let's move on to the hair. I'm starting with nice bluish green colors at the base. After that, I'll go in with slightly brighter shade. Not too different, just enough to give it a smooth gradient and make it look soft and natural. And for the final touch, I'm adding a pale green on every tip of the hair stands. This makes the hair look fresh and give it nice highlight, just like how Sila's hair should pop on screen. Let's continue to his outer skin base color. I'm using a beige color for the base. Now for the secondary color on the skin, I'm using a soft pale pink for this layer. And I just apply it randomly here and there to give the skin a bit more life. Then, with a wet brush, I'm adding bluish tint in some spots so we get this effect. Don't forget the details inside every hole. I'm putting in a dark blue to add more depth. It really makes those parts stand out and feel more realistic. Next up, tiny color touch to finish it off. I do a quick dry brush with some white in a few spots to highlight the texture. And don't skip the wet brush step. I add more hint of color into small skin details to tie it all together. And of course, I'm painting the eyes red, just like how it's looked in the original show. That really brings out the classic Sila vibe. I think we also need to add a bit more wet brush effect on the first red area of the fish skin. This gives it extra depth and make the colors blend together more naturally. And for the final step, let's add some extra touch on the skin here and there just to make it more alive. These little effects really help bring out the details and texture. Okay, this is it for the painting. Check this out. Looks pretty awesome, right? Now we just need to seal it up with a clear coat. This helps the paint last longer and make the whole figure looks more premium and shiny. And here it is, the final result. I'm pretty happy with how this Sila turned out. Just look at all the details. I really love how the colors layer up and make it feel alive. I hope you guys like it too. Alright, enjoy some final shot of our monster. Thanks for hanging out with me here at Kaiju Lab. If you enjoyed this episode, please hit that like button, drop a comment about what kaiju I should make next, and don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell so you won't miss my next monster project. Thank you for watching and see you guys again in the next episode of Kaiju Lab.